that fancy graphic can only mean one thing. Summertime, a very busy season for travelers, but are travelers in fact doing all they can to avoid the dangers that in some ways are suddenly associated with air travel? Recent attacks that we've seen worldwide really had us thinking, how can we perhaps help you keep safe? Mark Murphy, then, founder of TravelPulse.com, president of Travel Alliance, is here to walk us through some tips.
Yeah.
And again, this in perhaps years past might have been tossed off as what do we really need to do here.
Sure.
But this is real now, considering what we've seen play out in places like Brussels and on and on. So
yeah.
I'm getting ready to leave my house. What can I do?
Well, a lot of people are irrationally afraid to travel overseas, but as we saw in Orlando, you can get hit literally anywhere. So it's wrong place, wrong time. So you want to have situational awareness. I've spoken to people in the security field, former Navy SEALs, and they talk about things like when you go into a hotel, they always tell you map where you are on that floor in case of a fire. Know your egress, right? Well, they also say bring that down to where you're in a cafe, you're at a restaurant, you're in a movie theater, know your way out, and just assess it. Don't get all crazy, but at least have a plan to get out should something happen.
See, I am always looking for an exit sign. There's one right over your right shoulder.
Are you getting
there.
out here now?
But
all right,
I've thought about it. I mean, in any place. I mean, this is the world in which we live, really. How am I going to get away?
Well, you know what? If you're smart about where you go, if you stay away, like if I'm traveling to Europe this summer, I am not going to large events. You know, certain basic things. You want to stay away from large events. You want to look at the State Department website for travel warnings before you go, but you have to understand travel warnings. Many travel warnings are very broad. Mexico has had a travel warning in place forever, but if you actually look, it's very specific to the border area and certain places that you would never go as a tourist. And we have a European-wide travel alert / warning. Does that mean you don't go to Europe? No, for the most part, you're going to be safe in virtually any place you go, except for wrong place, wrong time. And that's where having situational awareness, knowing where you are, knowing what your egress will be, can be the live or die equation.
And quickly, you try a flashlight. I mean,
tactical flashlight, right? So this is a surefire flashlight. It has 1,000 lumens. Now you can't carry a gun in most places and everything else, right? Especially if you're traveling, you're not bringing a gun. This is the weapon of choice for folks because with 1,000 lumens hitting you in the eyes, even on a bright day and you're standing outside, it blinds you momentarily. So if you have an assailant who's approaching you and you flash them in the eyes, all you're looking to do is get a few seconds so you can get on your way. You get 3 or 4 seconds, you can get out of that situation. You know, that's where you have fight or flight, and flight is always the preferential way, and something like this will help you get out of that trouble.
And certainly, as we've seen in catastrophic events, so often power goes.
Absolutely.
You just need to be able to see your way to wherever it is you're getting.
And I like it as a tactical tool to blind the bad guy should something happen. And you can take this on planes anywhere you want, right? TSA, no issue.